Ivan, I think we should coat the Alcantara before we take it for a spin.
Exactly. I'm Ivan.
And I'm Christine.
This is DIY Detail. Today we have an R8 GT interior to do, and it is primarily Alcantara. There's a bit of leather, there's a bit of plastic,
Yes.
but even the headliner is Alcantara. The seats are Alcantara. The carpet is carpet. Thankfully, it's not Alcantara down there. But we have a couple diverse surfaces here. We have plastic, we have leather, we have carbon fiber, we have metal, and we have Alcantara. No wood grain though. Amazing. So with that, we're gonna dive right in, and the first piece we're gonna coat is actually the steering wheel. To do so, I'm actually gonna use our applicator pad because I don't want to be spraying everywhere in here. So I'm gonna,
And although beautiful, this Alcantara, it can get dirty very quickly. So this type of material really should be coated.
should be coated, and going back to my younger years, if you have an Alcantara steering wheel, get some driving gloves. You'll thank me later.
And you'll also look cool.
Yeah. So I'm working it back and forth, making sure I'm getting it into the grain of the Alcantara. Now, Alcantara is a fancy word for microfiber because it is made from the same microfiber as our towels, just weaved differently. So I'm making sure to get the back end of that steering wheel as well as the front. So everywhere the driver is going to be contacting, obviously, we want the coating. Now the Alcantara is soaking it up.
I was just going to remark on how quickly it is soaking it in.
As it should, which is good. And if you have an Alcantara interior, this is a must.
Absolutely. Much easier to protect than it is to clean.
Right. And once it's gotten dirty and matted down, there's not much us as detailers can do.
No.
Now this vehicle has a little over 300 miles on it, so not a lot. So that's why this is a great time to protect it. Now I'm going to add interior ceramic to the center here of the wheel. And this I'm going to level just like we do on exterior ceramics.
Yes.
And the steering wheel has not only Alcantara and leather, but we also have some metal accents here.
A little bit of everything on that steering wheel.
Yeah, start stop button, the drive select button, the race flag button. There's a button with a checkered flag on it.
There is.
And I'm doing also all the little buttons and switches on the steering wheel because the driver is going to be contacting those.
That is typically one of the most dirty spaces on a wheel.
Yeah.
That and the turning signals.
Exactly. So we'll get all of this leveled off just like an exterior ceramic. We'll make sure we're getting in there everywhere, not leaving any high spots.
No.
Because a high spot is a little difficult to remove. If you do get a high spot though, there's an easy way of taking care of it, and that's just adding more interior ceramic. Christine, we often get asked, how long does the interior ceramic last?
So on these higher contact areas, you're going to get about a year, 20,000 miles. But on these other areas of the vehicle where nobody's really touching all that often, that coating can last a lifetime.
Exactly. It's all dependent on the amount of abrasion it gets.
Yes.
So like any coating, it's abrasion dependent. And that's the only thing that's going to actually remove the coating is abrasion. So no abrasion, nothing removing it.
We are about to coat this Alcantara seat and the leather trim here. So I have a couple tools. I have a boar bristle brush and I have the foam applicator pad. I have a towel and the seat has already been prepped by vacuuming it. Now the vehicle only has 300 miles on it. I didn't dampen it with a rinseless towel, but if your seat looks like it might need that, go ahead. I have it right here just in case I thought it did need it, but it does not. So vacuumed and we're ready to go. Again, I'm going to start with the leather seats here, the leather portion of the seat. So just like we were doing on the steering wheel, making sure I get into all of the cracks and crevices. I'm going to go around underneath. And on this other side, same thing. Applying a nice thin layer. Should look a little dampened. Giving that a wipe, and it should start looking very matte, not shiny and not wet. A lot of detailers or do-it-yourselfers, this might seem more complicated than doing the paint on the outside. It is not. Very easy, very simple. All right, now I have the brush and the interior ceramic, and we're going to give it a different spray here, so not as close. I've gotten it on here, just give that a quick wipe. We're just brushing it on. Making sure to get in again into those cracks. The seat is really important to protect the vehicle. It sees the most traffic of a vehicle. Okay, now that I have brushed it on, I'm going to do another brush just to raise the fibers to let it dry. And once it has dried, in about a half hour, I'm going to come back through and apply it one more time. Here we have the door. I'm about ready to start coating the door. And I'm using the foam applicator and then again with our interior ceramic. This is a great candidate. It's got a lot of different elements. We have leather, I have carbon fiber, we have some plastics here, we got the Alcantara, and some metal pieces even. I'm going to start in a section. I'm going to do about this quarter section, wipe it all off, and then we'll continue on. I did roll down the window, and that is so we don't get coating on the inside of the window. We don't want coating on the inside of the window because it can cause fogging. I'm going to apply the coating to our sponge, trying to go very light so I don't get any splashing. Going right over the speaker, all the way down and around on the carbon fiber. On the top. Into those vents. I'm working in smaller sections so that way I can apply and remove the coating before getting high spots. All right, that looks great. We're going to move on to this area here. I'm going to apply a bit more coating. And I love these sponges, the foam applicator. There we go. Nice thin layer. It's going to look damp, not oversaturated. Getting on the inside everywhere. These pockets. And on the handle, I'm going to pull the handle out so I can get behind. Now I have the microfiber and I'm going to level what I just applied. should look matte, not shiny, and no longer wet. I'm going to do this final section around and finish with the Alcantara. A little bit more coating. Start at the top, work my way around. I'm going to come around. I'm going to apply another layer here to the Alcantara and follow it up with a brush to raise the fibers to finish drying. So here's my brush. Just enough to raise the fibers again so it dries. And then in about a half hour, I'm going to come back through and apply again.
The last step in doing an interior is the carpets. Now we've taken the mat out so it's easier for you to see. We're going to spray the mat liberally with the interior ceramic, making sure you get it everywhere. And you want to make sure your mat is clean, dry, and well vacuumed. I'm going to use a stiffer brush and work the coating in. Basically, I'm wanting to coat the fibers on all sides. Now that's laid the fibers down. I want to lift them up. Now I know that my fibers are standing. I'm going to give it another good application. And brush it in again. I'm going to finish with the same brush we used on the seats, simply because I don't want to leave lines in the carpet. So a softer brush is going to level everything, making it nice and even. Christine, we have the interior completely ceramic coated. Ceramic coating is important for a lot of things, and one thing that a lot of people look for when they're getting ceramic coating is hydrophobics. On the outside, definitely. On the inside, that's not the goal of the interior ceramic. The goal is much different, and that is
to make it easier to keep the interior clean.
interior ceramic is just that easy. You have to be methodical. You want to make sure you're getting it everywhere, and you're removing high spots before they can happen. On fabrics in Alcantara, brush it, level it, let it dry, put a second coat. Christine, any final thoughts on interior ceramic?
Only that it is extremely important when coating a car. You want to keep the inside just as nice as you would the outside of your vehicle.
Exactly. With that, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, leave them below.